only reason we know who Tom Brady is because of a tuck rule. There's no such thing as a tuck rule. If the ball is in your hand and I knock it out your hand, whether it's going backwards, forward, lateral, sideways, however it's coming out, that's a freaking fumble. But guess what we created? We created a freaking tuck rule. They don't go to that championship game if that tuck rule, if that ball is called a tuck. That's a fumble. Charles Wilson made that man clearly fumble the ball, and they named it a tuck rule, something that we've never heard in today's game. So now you got to ask yourself, when did the legacy really start?
Blitz. Lost the football. It's on the ground. Covered by the Raiders.
His college teammate, Charles Woodson, on the blitz. Tom Brady never sees him coming from the front side. Greg Biekert recovers the fumble. Charles Woodson, first time today I've seen him come on a blitz.
The question is, did he pull it down? His arm was going forward, but was he throwing the football?
Well, the exact term I can't think of, but if you throw a pass, and as you're faking that pass, now watch, as you're faking the pass, if it slipped out of your hand, that would be an incomplete pass. But was it forced out by Charles Woodson? I don't think the recoil of the fake throw is what made it come out of Tom Brady's hand.
After reviewing the play, the quarterback's arm was going forward. It is an incomplete pass. Second and 10 on the 42.
Wow.
After reviewing the play, the quarterback's arm was going forward. It is an incomplete pass. Second and 10 on the 42.
Wow.
The tuck rule game, was it a fumble?
Oh yeah, I thought game's over.
Yeah.
For the record, I was pulling it down.
Tom Brady comes full circle and admits the tuck rule play, the infamous play on January 19th, 2002, indeed was a fumble, as the whole world knows who paid attention to that game. And whoever knows the history of Tom Brady will be well aware of the fact that that was a fumble called a tuck. So they created a rule especially for the Patriot Tom Brady to succeed and move forward with his illustrious career. And as you just heard in the commercial he made with Peyton Manning, that he admitted that it was a fumble. So overall, what am I getting at? The scenario here is fraudulent. In other words, Brady's career was launched on a fraudulent scenario. It was this misnomer of his greatness. Well, as a football player within the narrative of the NFL, yeah, he's the greatest quarterback in NFL history, but he was born out of fraud. He was born out of a fraudulent scenario. This, I think, is a perfect analogy of the United States of America being born, as most Christians will consider the United States had its birth through Christian values, through a desire to have freedom of religion. And in 1776 was the birth of a Christian nation, and when in reality it was born through Freemasonry. That is the deception. That is the fraudulent scenario that I believe matches the Patriot that I am bringing out in this video, as in comparison. Tom Brady being the microcosm of USA Inc., the fraudulent birth, a misnomer of greatness. United States is not a Christian nation. There is no mention of the Lord God Almighty himself, Jesus Christ, Yeshua HaMashiach, is not mentioned in the U.S. Constitution. Therefore, this is not a Christian nation. Now, as I move forward, before I move forward, I want to recap the section where I deciphered the CBS logo, where it has the CBS logo, game score, and the time. What is deciphered there, CBS, as you look at the Pythagorean calendar, it is deciphered as 33, with the C being a 3. The letter B is equated as 2, and the S is 1, so you got 1 and 2 and 3. There's your 33. And the score, of course, that's easy. 13 plus 10, 23. 2 divided by 3, 666, or 0.6666. There's your 666. And the fourth quarter, in 1 minute and 43 seconds, you got the 4 plus 1 is 5, plus 4, there's your 9, deciphered as 9-3. It's how you decipher the code, and there is a code in every game, and most of the time we don't see it. This is the purpose of numbers being used in football games and in other sports. There is a purpose in numbering. It's not only just to keep track of who is on the field, number matched with name. There is esoteric coding. There are esoteric decisions being made based on players' numbers, position on the field, time on the clock. If this sounds ridiculous, visit my Derek Thomas video. Visit the video I recently did on Justin Tucker's 66-yard field goal. And this video will prove that there is some merit to what I am saying. And I'm going to wrap up this part of the video, and I'm going to move on further with Tom Brady's career and his ultimate move to Florida, and what I believe to be the esoteric meaning of his move to Tampa Bay, Florida, coming up. Now, number 12, Tom Brady for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, as I'm showing here, was, of course, at one time a New England Patriot. He signed with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers on March 20th of 2020. So that could be deciphered as 322. Okay, but I won't stretch it too far, but it can be deciphered as 322. The signing on March 20th with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers is very relevant because the day span between the day of the day that the legend of Tom Brady was born, as I put in my captions. The legend of Brady was born on January 19th of 2002, and then on March 20th, 2020, the signing of his new team, as the day span between the birth of the legend for his original team and he signs with his new team is 6,635 days. That can be deciphered as 666. Now, where's the other 6? Well, the 3 and 5 is 15. 3 times 5 is 15. 1 and 5 is 6. It all depends on how you decipher. So there is your 666. I am bringing that point up because of the relevance of the change and the time span between the most popular quarterback, the NFL's greatest quarterback, moved to Florida in 2020 after 6,635 days. Okay, the purpose of the move to Florida, the relevance of his move coincides with USA Inc.'s birth occurring in Florida. So the imagery of of the microcosm of the United States of America being embodied in Tom Brady as the New England Patriot. The United States of America at one time was viewed as a patriotic nation born from the 13 colonies expanding west. The visual would be known as a patriotic country. In 1925, the United States became incorporated and was moved to Florida. The state of Florida became the birthplace of USA Inc. The incorporation of the United States occurred in Florida, the state of Florida. So there is the mirroring of the microcosm of the United States of America, being Tom Brady, being the Patriot, now becoming a Buccaneer. The symbolism of a Buccaneer meaning a robber baron, a thief, one who deals in commerce illegally is the imagery. And this would coincide with what occurred with USA Inc. as it was born in Florida as a corporation and then robbed by foreign banks. The United States Gold Treasury was raided by foreign banks, by foreigners, in other words. So the imagery of a Buccaneer as it correlates to the Patriot, I'm hoping that you're following me here. The Patriot being commandeered by a Buccaneer, in other words. Tom Brady going from the New England area, going from the visual of a Patriot to the imagery of a Buccaneer, coincides with the condition of the United States of America as it was one time known as a representative republic, now becoming a de facto style government under the rule of Buccaneers, so to speak, or foreign banks. And so with this duality having been established with Patriot and Buccaneer, dealing with Tom Brady, dealing with USA Inc., the relevance of Brady winning his first Super Bowl and how it correlates with Brady winning his 7th Super Bowl, of course, 7 meaning completion. His first Super Bowl came on the heels of a national trauma, a national tragedy, which was 9/11. It happened, of course, 9/11 was in 01, September 01. The first Super Bowl after that national emergency occurred with Tom Brady as the victor. Now, fast forward to the next national emergency crisis would be COVID-19 and the lockdown, which basically traumatized the United States citizens. So the Super Bowl victory involving Tom Brady would occur. He would be the first Super Bowl victor, as it were, being quarterback after the lockdown occurred. So it would be after the major change in USA Inc.'s psyche happened to be in correlation with a Brady Super Bowl victory, as it was in 01 with 9/11. That was definitely, it put the United States citizen through a psychological change. The shock of the narrative, according to the narrative, this attack on U.S. soil by terrorists, it sent the United States psyche through a major change, and Tom Brady again was the Super Bowl victor as a quarterback, which would have been the first Super Bowl after that major occurrence, is what I'm trying to say. I believe these two events these two separate events, nearly 20 years involving the same individual under a duality of identity, as it were, Patriot to Buccaneer, is definitely not a coincidence, and I do believe it all coordinates with the overall message that I am giving in this video. Now, if you follow my videos, I'm very much into connecting dots through dates, through numbers of days between dates. The number of days between Brady's first Super Bowl appearance and his last equates to 6,944 days. It equals 992 weeks, I should say. Now, where it gets very relevant is the total time span between those two dates. In hours, you get 166,000 hours. So you got your 666 within that numbering, and also you will have a 611 within that same numbering sequence. Also, you look at the minutes, you look at your nines, 999s. That is expressing change. So again, why am I harping on Brady? Brady being the most important figure in the NFL. He is the microcosm, again, as I said earlier, of the closure for this nation, which is actually a corporation, USA Inc. We are looking at closure, and the NFL is using its #1 character to express the closure. It was important that Brady get his last Super Bowl ring against the Kansas City Chiefs based on location between two cities. As you can see, it's deciphered as a 1,254 miles. A 1,254 mile drive is deciphered as 39, again 39, associated with closure, with demise. Now, Tom Brady, having been in the NFL, this is his 23rd season. Okay, 23rd season. He was drafted at age 23. This is his 23rd season. These numbers are coordinating together as to express, again, closure. 23 obviously is deciphered as 666. Also, Tom Brady. And also, I believe the 2-3 with Brady, there's two sets of 2-3s. You got him being, as I present this video, you have Tom Brady being drafted at age 23, Tom Brady entering to his 23rd season. There is your two sets of chromosomes that will create one body, 2-3 from each parent, as it were, creating 46 total chromosomes, 23 pairs. So the 46 is another, in my opinion, another number that expresses closure. You have our completion. Okay, Brady, as you go into next season, in which it is being talked of him retiring, he will, by the start of a season 23-24, Tom Brady would be 46 years old. There's your completion number. Brady would be 46 as if he retires this year. After the 22-23 season, going into the 23-24 season, Brady will be 46. So what I'm getting at is these numbers of closure are right here in our face. We have newly elected, well, it's not newly elected now, it's been 2 years since the 46th president has been in office. And what is different about this entire presidency, without getting political, this has been a totally different style of presidency. It has been, with the narrative inserting all the drama and all the lack of so-called leadership skills with this number 46 president, the completion of the presidential number, as it were. Now, there may be 47 president moving forward, but as far as I am concerned, as far as the symbolism is concerned, USA Inc. has seen its completion of CEOs based on the numbers, based on the activity that is surrounding this current president, the scandal and whatnot. It signifies closure, with COVID-19 basically stripping away all what were known to be amendment rights. With all that happening with COVID-19, with a so-called unconstitutional treatment of its citizens, is definitely symbolic for closure. I keep using that word over and over. There has been a change that is telling this country, the citizens of USA Inc., that things are definitely different. This is not the representative republic that we were taught. This is what I am getting at. Now, real quick, back to Brady. His 2 Super Bowl appearances, the day span, as I already covered, 6,944 days equates to 19 years. Now, it's not a coincidence that time span. The time span of 19 years. What's the big deal? Brady's time span between his first Super Bowl victory, Super Bowl 36, and his 7th Super Bowl victory, Super Bowl 55, 19 years. That actually matches the year that USA Inc. was actually established. It was established in 1925. So you got 19 years, 25, 2 and 5 and 7. So it correlates to Brady's 19-year, 7 Super Bowl rings. There's your 19, 7, 19, 2, 5, 2 and 5 and 7. So that's how I connect the dots with Brady being the microcosm of USA Inc. Brady's move to Tampa Bay, Florida. Overall, this is my theme. Of course, I'm well known for giving themes of closure and demise. I feel like, as Ezekiel 33:6 expresses, for watchmen to sound the alert, to give the warning of closure, of demise. I strongly believe that the United States of America is Mystery Babylon, and we are on the brink of prophecy fulfillment. According to Revelation 18, Mystery Babylon will be destroyed. And my hope is that I have made myself clear through all these number sequences and connecting dots and whatnot, and having the NFL as a prime example. And I use the NFL as a prime example is because that's the systems method. The NFL is the primary source of sports entertainment. It is the number one, I believe it's the number one source of sports entertainment, especially when it comes to championship weekend. The whole world basically shuts down to watch the game, the Super Bowl. So this is why I've used this method of using NFL, and especially, again, Tom Brady. I've already explained why I think he is important. He was chosen way back on the infamous day in sports history, January 19th of 2002, to become the symbolic Patriot / Buccaneer, which I believe, again, as I expressed, it definitely is symbolic for the overall condition of USA Inc. Now, as I finish out this video, I want to show some short examples, or a couple of short clips of examples of symbolism of demise, of the downward spiral, as it were. And it is expressed through these very strange instances of so-called player injuries. I'm making this video mid-October. I'm going to say I believe this is the 20th. No, I believe this is October 21st. Today is October 21st. It'll probably be a few more days before I post this video. As of week 7 of the NFL season, there have been some strange anomalies regarding player shutdown. And I'm going to show these examples, and then I'm going to close it out with an example that I witnessed some years back. I believe it was 2019, on how the NFL and its players are definitely under a type of control. There is manipulation that I believe is on a spiritual level that I will basically expose, and hopefully this will get those who are still awake, to get the attention of those who are still awake to really take seriously this issue, this subject matter of demise. Matthew 24:14, on the brink of being fulfilled as far as preaching the gospel of the kingdom. Now I will show these clips coming right up, and then I'll close this video out. Now, as I've already covered in previous videos regarding the NFL, the 17-game season coincides with the number 17 overall. And of course, if you watched any of my latest videos dealing with the number 17, I've been harping on it quite a bit. My life is over at VIXI also correlates with the number 39. Now, I'm bringing it up again because this is the second season with the NFL playing 17 games, and how basically there has been silence in using a 17-game season, as it gives an odd number of games, meaning the big impact it has, besides being one extra game, you got an odd number of home games being played versus road games. So in a given season with a 17-game format, someone's going to play more home games than the other. Some teams are going to play more home games than the other teams during regular season, and vice versa, which is not fair as far as level playing field, equal opportunity. And this again it mirrors the new the reset of the condition of USA Inc. and the different rules. We play by a different set of rules now. USA citizens have been let know that they can be locked down, they can be told to do this and that at any given time. Scenarios are set up that are not fair without question. So this is what, again, a 17-game format kind of represents that reality in the so-called real world. Also, it dovetails an overall message of, regarding the NFL, that is, sends a message to the fans as we witness these injuries. There's a lack of concern for prep time, particularly during Thursday night games, the obvious sharp prep time between a Sunday game and a Thursday night game, especially for traveling teams from a Sunday scenario to a Thursday night scenario. Less prep time, less practice time, less rest time. It all adds up to risk of injuries, and at the same time the NFL is concerned about injuries, but yet they put their players in a scenario that puts them at obvious higher risk of injuries. That dovetails, not to bring up biomed commercials again, but it mirrors a biomed commercial announcement. As you watch your favorite NFL team, you will have a commercial come on that will engage in the narrative of help for a particular ailment, and then it will offer side effects of death in the same breath. So the duality, the yin-yang effect, creates a delusional state of mind for those who are not awake, for those who are plugged into the system. The duality message that's being sent overall through all media entertainment, of course, focusing on the NFL, it sends a message of closure, duality, while at the same time giving you the impression that everything's fine.
It says to go forward as well. Herbert protected. End zone caught. And now the ball comes out incomplete. the tight end Donald Parham, and he's hurt.
The dynamic quarterback was clearly in pain. His fingers clenched, lying there for several minutes before he was
point of a first drive this season. And meanwhile, of all things.
Oh, boy.
Well,
Oh, boy. Getting up. Oh, my goodness. That's an awful, awful sight to see. They will take him to the sideline immediately. Smith. That's the player that's circled there. He chucks Hunter Henry at the line, and then Smith goes down. Looks like he collapses.
So you have to ask yourself what's going on as I go through this series of injury replays. Again, that's from 2021 Thursday night game. This one with the Chargers. You have to ask yourself the question. I mean, what's going on? It looks unrealistic. You want to say it's phony, but whatever it is, it's symbolic, and they're sending a clear message that is not good news. This is a message of closure. This is a message of demise, symbolic through these NFL players for the fans to observe. Now, for this final section, and this video's gone way longer than I thought it would, but for this final section, I want to recap something that I covered a couple of years ago, and it had to do with the subject matter of the flat-footed defender, and this was a highlight from a game from 2018, Chiefs versus Denver, and I was kind of griping about how none of it looked realistic. Of course, it would be Patrick Mahomes at Arrowhead. And I'm gonna let that original audio play, but I'm going to make a point in the subject matter of defenders standing flat-footed to allow the receivers to run by them. In my opinion, at the time, it was the staging of a fake play. By standing flat-footed, it gave the defender a reason not to be able to track down the receiver, and then of course the receiver would gain the advantage and score a touchdown. So I'm going to let that original audio from a game in 2018, Chiefs versus Broncos in Arrowhead, and then I'm going to follow up with the NFL's follow-up to my complaint, as they pretty much gave me an in-your-face example of a flat-footed defender and how they can manipulate the players on the field as to answer a complaint over a video. Now, as ridiculous as that sounds, I happen to know that to be absolutely true, and I will prove it to you coming up here in a few minutes. This is October 29th of 2018. I'm going to cover this clip from the game on October 28th against the Chiefs and the Broncos. I'm going to point out the flaw in their script. And this is something that of late that I've been really enjoying to point out, the flawed play, so the individuals will pick up on what to look for as they watch staged plays.
The Donkeys, as predicted here on Fox 4. But did they win big with their Halloween?
I'll play that in fast motion. I should have muted that. Nonetheless, here it is. Play it in regular speed again. Everything looks good here. Did you notice something odd about the pass? The whole demeanor of the defense seemed very blasé. Okay, here, I'll show you why. Why this is a stage play. You got the line of scrimmage here, the blue line. You count 5 yards. spot here. As long as the ball is not in the air, you can come up and nail the receiver. Hit him, knock him on his butt. Watch what happens. This receiver coming out of the backfield is his guy. What does he do? He just lets him stand there. Why? I mean, sorry it took all that time just to point out something so simple, but I mean, that's his guy right here. He's well within the 5-yard zone. Immediately, you're playing one-on-one, buddy. It doesn't matter. You got nobody to worry about except that guy. You go up there, you put him on his back. If you miss him, so what? Because you missed him anyway. Right here. Wham! It won't be a penalty. What happens? Does some little pseudo fake, and of course, after the pseudo fake, right here, he stumbles. The stumble gave him an out. The fake stumble. It's pretty typical. There will usually be a fake stumble or off balance scenario that gives him an excuse to be beat. And fans go crazy, of course, because their team is winning. And as you heard my original commentary from October, I think I said 29th of 2018, the main theme of this whole video I made was to criticize the fact that the defenders are deliberately told to stand still. So that's why I named the short segment the flat-footed defender. So again, I pointed out how the defender from the Denver Broncos basically stood still and let that Chiefs receiver run by him to score the touchdown. Now, as I put in my captions, a common procedure or the common method is to have the defender stand in non-attack mode. So I'm going to freeze frame that caption I put stating that the fact that the defender stands in a non-attack mode, basically standing still. And so this next clip I'm going to show you occurred in a playoff game between the Ravens and the Chargers in January of 19. So roughly 3 months later, I randomly turned on the TV and caught a portion of this the playoff game between the Chargers and the Ravens, and I caught this play. And I was actually in between job trips for my limo service, and I came in and turned on the TV during this playoff game and caught this play coming up. And I'm going to just do my commentary as I record right now. I'm going to just go over what I observed coming right up. Now, as I revisit this clip from the Chargers versus Ravens in January of 2019, the score is 23-10 with 2:33 left on the clock. So as I'm showing clips here, this is my commentary as I was comparing the two games. This is a commentary that I was going to post in another video, but I didn't. I think I wound up taking the video down, but I am going over the flat-footed receiver with the Denver Broncos versus the Chiefs. Not the flat-footed receiver, but the flat-footed defender, of course, that I exposed with the Denver Broncos and the Chiefs. Now, I am going over my commentary there as I did. Now, I'm going back to the Ravens Chargers. Now, you're going to see that there's the numbers. You got 2:33 left in the fourth quarter. The score is 23-10. Now, watch what happens as I was going over my so-called 3 criticisms that I had during the that year of 2018. Now, the first criticism was the flat-footed receiver. It doesn't really matter what the criticisms were, but I'm just kind of going over what I was saying at the time I made this clip. Okay, I think the criticism was a 2-3-3 with the Justin Tucker field goal that he missed. He missed an extra point, 33-yard field goal, something like that. Doesn't matter. But the three criticisms was the 33-yard field goal, which you got the 2-3-3, and you got the 23-10 score, which adds up to 33. The second criticism was the flat-footed defender. Now, this is what I'm talking about now, as I got my original audio silenced. And all three criticisms were in one play, is what I'm saying. And the third criticism was the hurdler. We had a bunch of NFL players hurdling other players during that season of 2018-2019. Now, here's the flat-footed defender, and to note that there's my score, 23-10. I'm pointing out there. To make sure that they were addressing me, they made sure that flat-footed defender was number 33. Now, see, there's the hurdle. There's the hurdle as the receiver, as the tight end number 89 hurdles over that player, and it all looks so perfectly staged. Now watch the replay. Watch the number 33 defender stand flat-footed and let this man run right in front of him. Look at him. Now, if that's not an answer, I don't know what is. Now, I'm just kind of going over it. Now, have you ever seen anything like that happen? The man is just standing like a statue, the number 33. Now he goes after him after the fact, lets him catch the ball, lets him get in front of him, or lets him get by him. Now look at the hurdle. That hurdle effect was like a common thing. Now see, I'm showing. Now okay, there's other replay from the same replay from another angle, I should say. Such an unrealistic hurdle. It's like these guys, at the time I was saying they were faking it, but as I sit here in October of 2022, I believe these guys are made to do this on another level. They are being made to do this activity. Again, the flat-footed receiver, and he's number 33. And he hurdles a defender. And I'm going to, at the end of this clip, I'm going to show you the example of the hurdler that I had been criticizing earlier this same year in an earlier game in 2018. I'm going to see, I'm putting up my caption addressing the hurdler. Now here's the hurdler I was criticizing earlier in the season. So it matches this hurdler and the flat-footed defender. So anyway, that was basically my criticism. That's going to wrap it up for this video. I hope this has been informative, especially regarding the esoteric Patriot with Tom Brady and all the symbolism that was displayed in this video regarding the finality, closure, completion, and the overall theme of control, manipulation through sports entertainment. And we need to be looking to fulfill Matthew 24:14. Continue to live in John 3:21, as I am totally convinced that we are on the brink of something huge. And I believe that the end of days is definitely here. And with that being said, may the grace of our Lord Jesus Christ be with us all.